Today I'm going to be talking about Hatchet by Gary Paulson. It's a favorite book of mine. I read it a million times when I was a kid. I even met the author in real life in Sacramento, where I was born and raised, and got my book signed by him. But the sources are Mental Floss, which is an online website. The editor is Janet Burns. The second source is Hatchet by Gary Paulson. And so the story is that the protagonist, this is all based on a true story, and the protagonist is a 15-year-old, and his two parents are divorced, and his dad works in an oil field, so the mom is sending him out there to visit his dad. She goes to a private airport. They happen to know a guy that can fly him out there, and he sits there, and they know a guy that can fly him out there. So the guy winds up having a heart attack on the way out there, and just to entertain the kid, he was showing him how to work the controls, and you know, the Roberson is the name of the protagonist in the story, but it's based on Gary Paulson. So Gary was sitting there and paying attention the whole time while they were flying, and you know, when he was showing him how to use the controls. So when the guy had a heart attack, he wound up being able to keep the plane steady until it ran out of gas or fuel, and he crashed into a lake. He built a shelter nearby where he sat there and lived off berries for a while, and he even had like a couple times where they made him really, really sick. He eventually graduated up to hunting small game, birds, and he also had run-ins with porcupines and different animals, you know, had to hide, was attacked. His shelter was also destroyed by a tornado, so he had to survive a tornado also out there in the wilderness. And so anyways, after all of that, and there's plenty of other different escapades and stuff that's happened, and after all that said and done, though, he wound up going back to the crash site of the plane, where he found the survival kit, which had an emergency radio in it, where he was able to use the beacon on it to alert a trader overhead. And the trader that was flying overhead, you know, caught onto his beacon and happened to rescue him, and the rest is history. So if you guys would be interested in maybe reading a book like that, it's a really great book. It is an old book. It was written in 1988, but it's a good book. I'm going to show you around